Okay, so basically back in October, I made predictions against the NHL 25 sim engine to see how the 2025-26 NHL season would go. So let's see who got more predictions right, me or the NHL 25 sim engine, and whoever gets more points at the end of this video, I'll give something away if the NHL 25 sim engine wins. So stay tuned, let's see who gets more predictions right, and of course, let's react to my 2025-26 season predictions.
For the President's Trophy winners, I will be selecting the Vegas Golden Knights to win the President's Trophy, and according to NHL 25, the Tampa Bay Lightning will win the President's Trophy.
At the time of recording, I really didn't think that was a bad prediction, and I thought Mitch Marner would have such a huge impact on the Golden Knights and helping them win the President's Trophy. The President's Trophy would go to the Colorado Avalanche with 121 points on the season. My Golden Knights barely snuck into the playoffs, but also somehow won their division with 95 points. Unfortunately for me, that's a long way away from the President's Trophy. On to the next prediction.
Now for the inverse, who's going to finish last in the league? I'm going to be taking the Chicago Blackhawks, and according to NHL 25, the San Jose Sharks are once again going to finish last.
If it wasn't for the Vancouver Canucks being absolutely atrocious and shipping off their captain, I would have had this prediction 100% correct. The Sharks finished in 24th, and yet they hold the second overall pick in this coming draft above the Chicago Blackhawks. And speaking of draft selections, on to our next prediction.
Now for the draft lottery, I think the Chicago Blackhawks, who I predict are going to be in last place, they'll win the draft lottery. Gavin McKenna will play with his cousin Connor Bedard. And as for the NHL 25 sim, Gavin McKenna is going to stay in Pennsylvania, but he will be playing with the Philadelphia Flyers.
Back-to-back years of surprising #1 overall victories. I don't think anybody would have predicted the Toronto Maple Leafs winning the first overall pick. With the NHL draft being held this Friday, it's all but confirmed that the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to select Gavin McKenna. On to the next prediction now.
And for the Stanley Cup final matchup, I'm going to have the Florida Panthers making their 4th consecutive Stanley Cup finals, this time once again against the Vegas Golden Knights. A rematch of the 2023 Cup finals, however, Florida's going to win it this time, solidifying themselves as a dynasty.
Predicting a three-peat is a very bold move, and obviously this team could have been a very different team with Barkov in the mix. A side note, with Brady Tkachuk being acquired by the Panthers yesterday, this could be a very different team next season. I will give myself half a point here, as I did correctly predict the Golden Knights losing in the Cup finals. The NHL 25 sim is going to have the Nashville Predators losing to the Washington Capitals. Unfortunately for these two teams, neither of them even ended up making the playoffs, with the Capitals just missing out on the playoffs by just 3 points.
For the Conn Smythe Trophy of that said final will be Matthew Tkachuk. The NHL 25 sim engine has Alex Ovechkin potentially ending his NHL career with his 2nd Stanley Cup and his 2nd Conn Smythe Trophy.
This one's hard to predict. Neither of these teams were in the playoffs. No points for either sides here. Let's move on. Congratulations to Jordan Staal and the Carolina Hurricanes on winning their Stanley Cup.
My prediction for the MVP, the Hart Trophy winner, is going to be Connor McDavid, and the NHL 25 sim engine is going to agree with me.
Predicting McDavid for the Hart Trophy should be a given, as the NHL 25 sim engine agreed with me. After another great season from McDavid, he ended up losing the Hart Trophy voting by about 10 points, and Kucherov taking home his 2nd career Hart Trophy.
Ted Lindsay is also going to go to Connor McDavid, and the NHL 25 sim engine will also agree with me on that one.
When in doubt, Connor McDavid. That's all I have to say.
For the Art Ross, I think the MVP is going to take home the Art Ross, Connor McDavid. Pretty self-explanatory. The NHL sim engine is not going to agree with me. They're going to take Austin Matthews to win the Art Ross.
When in doubt, Connor McDavid. After barely scraping 100 points last season, McDavid bounces back, takes home the Art Ross. Austin Matthews had 53 points in 53 games before suffering an MCL tear. A very unfortunate injury, but it's safe to say he was not catching up to McDavid's point total. On to our next prediction.
Richard, I'm going to take Leon Draisaitl. He's going to go back-to-back. The NHL sim engine is going to take Austin Matthews to win the Rocket Richard.
Unfortunately, both Draisaitl and Matthews had their season cut short, like we mentioned before with Matthews. Neither player finished in the top 10, as Nathan McKinnon ended up taking home the Rocket Richard. On to the next one.
For the Norris Trophy, it was very tough between Makar and Hughes, but I ended up going for Cale Makar. The NHL 25 sim engine is going to take, oh my god, they're going to take Evan Bouchard to win the Norris. If Evan Bouchard wins the Norris this season, I will get a picture of his face on a cake and eat it live.
I need to understand why I was hating so much on this Bouchard pick from the NHL sim. Bouchard finished in 4th in the Norris voting behind my pick, Cale Makar, at number 2, and Werenski ended up winning the Norris Trophy. Evan Bouchard, I owe you an apology.
One of my biggest hot takes in this video, but for the Vezina Trophy, I'm going to have Aiden Hill winning it.
What the hell?
Aiden Hill had 10 wins, a 3.04 GAA, and an 871 save percentage. Let's move on.
Great pick from the NHL 25 sim engine here. They're going to take Jake Ottinger to win the Vezina.
Yeah, great pick, NHL sim engine.
Believe it or not, the Selke Trophy was actually the hardest one for me to predict here. It was either between Barkov or Kopitar, but I'm going to end up going with Kopitar, and the NHL 25 sim engine will agree with me.
Thankfully, I picked Kopitar over Barkov. However, Kopitar finished in 18th place for the Selke voting and didn't receive a first place vote. We'll move on.
For the Calder Trophy, I'm going to go with the consensus pick here, Ivan Demidov. 19 years of age, he's obviously had a little bit of NHL experience under his belt, and he's looked quite good in those games. The NHL 25 sim engine is going to have Caden Lindstrom win the Calder Trophy.
I need to set something straight here. Nobody believes in Matthew Schaefer more than me. I literally went to go to LA to watch this man get drafted by the Islanders. However, Ivan Demidov at the time was the clear-cut favorite for the Calder, and I just wanted to play it safe by taking him. But yeah, no, Schaefer won the Calder unanimously. As for Caden Lindstrom, he was already committed to Michigan State before before the NHL season was underway. We'll take that, I guess. Moving on.
Last but not least, for the Jack Adams Trophy, I'm going to have John Cooper winning it. According to the NHL 25 sim engine, Spencer Carberry is going to take home the Jack Adams.
Ending off with the bang here is, yes, John Cooper did in fact win the Jack Adams. Surprisingly winning his first Jack Adams and doing so by just 3 points. And Spencer Carberry didn't finish in the top 14 after winning the Jack Adams last season. And that's going to do it for the predictions. I did beat out the NHL sim engine, so unfortunately no giveaway in this video, but stay tuned as I would like to give away something in a future video. Thank you so much for watching, and if you would like to watch my original prediction video, I will link it in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe. Peace.